Hello, I'm Wolfgang Riebe, and these are my quick tips. Today I want to talk to you about a positive self-image. Now, just a quick question. Is it me, or have you also noticed a lot of insecure people around on a daily basis? Now, what do I mean by insecure? Well, you know those people that are continually short-tempered? They don't have many good things to say about you or others, and they tend to be aggressive in traffic. You know the types, always pessimistic about the state of affairs around them, from their home life, the company life, to the politics around. I especially noticed this the other day before a long holiday weekend. It's as if they all appear out of nowhere, as if they've climbed out of hiding places all around town, and they kind of overrun the local supermarket and buy up all the meats, the cool drinks and alcohol as if there's no tomorrow. They just run in, they push you out of the way, they grab items before you can even peruse the choice that's there, and basically they act like a pack of wild dogs. Is it just me, or have you also noticed this? Now, we've just had a long weekend, and I had to drive my daughters to another town. And of course, being someone that works for themselves, I'm never aware of bank holidays or public holidays. So as I'm driving, I notice this particular frenzy on the roads. There's a certain kind of behavior. Call it aggression, call it stupidity, or even insecurity. But it was definitely a different vibe. Now, I don't know why, but I turned to my youngest daughter and I just looked at her and I popped the question whether it was a long weekend tomorrow. Guess what? I had, just by observing people's behavior around me, made a correct conclusion. Do you know that by the time I returned home that evening, I was completely irritated. Yes, I too am normal and can get annoyed. But you know what I couldn't understand is, and I still can't understand, is why do people just zone out like that? And in masses. It's almost a collective consciousness that signals to everyone, be stupid. I would say it's similar to what they call collective swarming behavior exhibited by animals of a similar size. Now, while thinking about this, the first thing I thought is, please don't let me ever sit in the middle of a natural disaster with these people, no matter where I am on earth, because they're going to kill me and everybody else around them in their need and stupidity to try and escape. I want to pose another question to you. Have you ever flown out of an airport on a long weekend, or just at the beginning of the holiday season? Are you chuckling? Because if you have, here's some really good practical advice, and it's free. Don't. I spoke about this in a previous video of mine a while back, and I call people plunkies. Plunkies. You see, they take stupid pills and they act like monkeys. It's a plunky. Now, why is this? If anything, this behavior frightens and worries me at the same time. Suddenly I want to go and live on a desert island and get away from this sheeple mentality, mass attitude. You see, I did a bit of research on the internet, and I was looking for a simplistic answer, and it's amazing what you find on Wikipedia. You see, they talk about mass hysteria, in fact, also known as collective obsessional behavior. Now, a common example is when a group of people believe they're suffering from a similar disease or an ailment. And this is also known as epidemic hysteria. Now, you know, the more I read these words, the more they make sense, and I kind of have come up with my own version. I call it epidemic sheeple hysteria. Seriously though, I'm also a realist, and I feel that people can't work each other up so quickly. This can't be. Or can they? Do you know that if I just look at a simple political scandal, within minutes of this happening, people are phoning each other, they're sending emails, they're posting comments on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and the news is spreading worldwide, even city or group-wide, and this within minutes. It's actually scary how fast information, good and bad, is shared and being spread today. Now, What's this got to do with this wacky long weekend aggressive sheeple mentality? Well, you see, maybe I've kind of figured it out. There are so many overworked people around who hate their job so much and are so desperate to get away that they kind of just zone out and flip out when they have a long weekend. They have this desperation of having me time, and this is so powerful that anyone that steps in their path or slows them down or infringes on that time is trodden on, so to say. Does any of this sound familiar? If yes, then you need to ask yourself some serious questions about your own life and your work. First of all, when you wake up in the morning on a work day, are you miserable? Think about that. Or do you lack passion and drive when you are at work? Or do you really look, like many other people, forward to weekends and especially long weekends? Or do you already become depressed on a Sunday afternoon as you know Monday is looming around the corner? Or what about the possibility that you have negative feelings and stress and that these affect your family and health? Or do you feel underutilized, not respected, dislike certain colleagues and feel that you are not liked either? All these issues, plus many more, can contribute towards what I believe this weekend sheeple mentality. Did you answer yes to any of those questions? If you did, don't feel bad. There's nothing worse than being unhappy, and it's the most natural thing to want to run away as fast as you can from that which brings you no joy. It's even more natural to get aggressive, rude, and walk over anyone that gets in your way when seeking happiness because of the situation that you are in. The problem is, how do you solve this? What is the solution for you? What can you do to become part of a more balanced, calmer type of person that respects their fellow human beings at all times, even on bank holidays? Well, firstly, you have to be honest with yourself. If you are unhappy in what you do, change. You cannot blame anyone else for your unhappiness. You and only you are responsible for your life and your career. If you feel you cannot change because the working conditions are good, the pay is good, and you have to cover expenses pertaining to a certain lifestyle standard that you've created, then don't complain. Remember, it is still you who has to decide that you want that lifestyle. This gives you no right then to disrespect others. You see, you have to take the responsibility yourself. Stop being a sheeple just because everyone else has satellite television and the latest smartphone does not mean that you need it too. Nor will materialistic items guarantee your happiness. You see, this mentality of, when I have this, I will then be whatever, is stupid. The longer you allow the mass media and everyone around you to dictate your state of mind in terms of social and cultural conditionings, guess what? You cannot and will never have a positive image, a positive self-image, and find contentment. The older I get, the more I intend to think about life and philosophize, believe it or not. And my biggest issue these days is questioning the purpose of life. I had a friend a year ago that literally hated his job. He was one of those people that really looked forward to weekends. He used to tell me that his dream was one day to travel when he retired. That's all he wanted to do. He wanted to get out. He couldn't handle his work. He just wanted to retire. Well, guess what? He died a year ago in his 40s and unhappy at his lot in life. In the end, he was really bitter. Today, about a year later, his job is filled by someone else. His teenage children are carrying on with their life. And guess what? His wife has just started socializing again, and she may have met someone new. Now, besides the memories his family and a handful of friends like myself have of him, what did he leave behind? What was his purpose? Life carries on. The sun still rises and sets. People still go to work every day. His children still go to school. Has he left a gaping hole? Has the world changed because of his absence? The sad answer is no. When you die, will it be the same answer in your life after a year? Or will people really miss you? Will people still talk about your passion and your energy? Will they still talk about the long-term changes you brought about in your career, your family, and for humanity? Will you be mentioned in history books? Will you be seen as the one who made a difference in your family tree when people look back in 500 years' time? Do you get my point? If you are sitting through life, just cruising along, paying your dues, waiting for weekends to arrive and lacking purpose, then you could very possibly have this aggressive sheeple mentality that I see around me. However, if you have searched within your own soul and identified the real you by being honest with yourself, and that you are now following the passion in your life, then maybe you will be the person future generations read about in their history books. And by the way, each and every one of us has the potential to be great. We have an equal opportunity. We just need to stand up and find our greatness. Guess what? When you start changing, you suddenly notice all the sheeples out there. And instead of falling into that mass behavior statistic, you start feeling sorry for them. And you begin trying to help and guide people towards the light. Just for one moment, imagine that everybody started caring, helping, and guiding everyone around them to become a more positive person. It all starts with you. So today, when you leave work, let that aggressive driver in front of you get ahead. Smile at him. Put your music up and sing in the car. When you get to the supermarket, stop. Smell the flowers at the entrance. Smile at people around you and those passing you. Take your time and look for items you never noticed before. Buy something new. Come home, hug your family. Tell them you love them. Phone a friend you haven't spoken to in a while. I have my own quotation, which goes, start living in the moment so that life's moments can grab you. Makes you think, huh? Thank you for watching my quick tip, and I trust I've left some seed behind that can change your life and make you a more positive person. From me, Wolfgang Riebe, until next time, cheers.